When we're in gymnasiums across the province, one of the questions we ask kids is, how many of you have been talking to your adult and they didn't hear a word you said because they were looking at their device? Every kid in every gym raises their hand. And then we ask, how many of you have been looking at your device and you didn't hear a word your adult said? They're a little more reluctant to raise their hands, but they do. They understand that this is an everybody problem. But then we hand the mic to the kids and we say, how does that make you feel? And the kids tell us in every gym, this is the hardest part of my job. In every single gym, the kids tell us, it makes me feel ignored, it makes me feel worthless. One little girl said it made her feel like a ghost. It makes them angry and annoyed. It makes them feel lonely. It makes them feel like they're not as important as whatever's happening in their parents' device. And then we tell kids, your parents don't mean to do this, but we are doing this. Because the only things that adults tell us is it makes me feel disrespected, it makes me feel mad, it makes me frustrated. Those are all power words. It's because our power isn't being respected. But for our kids, this is impacting their self-worth, their mental health, their feelings of safety in their homes. This is a major problem. In fact, it's probably the biggest problem that we've identified between parents and kids. And it breaks my heart, and I hope it breaks yours too. And I hope that it stops. We've told kids that this is fixed with a really simple sentence. I'm just gonna finish what I'm doing, and then I'll put my device down and give you my 100% attention. Kids don't think they can say that to the adults, but we've asked them to say it and keep saying it until the adults start to understand that what they're doing with their device might be important to them, and that they will give them their undivided attention, and that the kids also can at the same time be teaching adults to do the same thing for them. When we're talking about device use and screen time and addiction and all of those things, the first thing we need to do is take a step back and understand that what's going on in a device isn't necessarily frivolous or a waste of time. We look at the device being out and we immediately go, they're doing something that's not okay. What we have to do is we have to understand that what screen time essentially is now isn't just scrolling. For some kids, they're editing. For other kids, they're reading. Some kids are maybe coloring because they have anxiety and it's helping ease their anxiety. A lot of them are communicating, they're talking with friends. So what we have to do, rather than assuming it's a device problem, is we have to start asking, what are you doing on your device, before we say it's time to put it down. We also have to recognize that a lot of the physical stuff that kids will do, TikToks are very physical, or a kid might go outside and ride their bike and do jumps, but that the device might be a factor in that too. They might want to take their device out, which is a video camera, and video their jumps. So I think that we have to move away from this negative connotation of what a device is for and move toward defining what's being used for. And that's where we look at screen time a little bit more. Kids tell us that their biggest challenge with their device is that adults assume they know what they're doing and they're forced to stop it. So they don't actually get to finish their conversation. They don't get to finish editing that video. That there's a lot of assumptions. So one of the things that we as adults can do to be helping kids is saying, what are you doing right now? Before we say, put that down, that's stupid. Now, the other thing that we all have to do is we have to acknowledge that if we can go to a movie theater for 2 hours and have our phone away, if we can be in a meeting for 2 hours and have our phone away, then we certainly can have our phone away when our kid's in the room with us.